Hi.
Welcome.
So, we're now going to teach you how to make a good podcast. How do you make a good podcast?
A good podcast is made when you follow 3 very simple steps.
Okay. First step is the English language. You got to make sure that your language is good. What does that mean?
Well, first of all, you need to have a good sense of grammar. You need to actually speak correct English. Speaking incorrect English just sounds awful. It's that simple.
It does. Also, you got to make sure that you are speaking clearly. Do not mumble. We're not going to assess the way that you speak, with your dialect or whatever. That's fine. But don't mumble. Speak loud and clear.
And finally, vary your words, which means to have a wide vocabulary. Actually, use different words for the same thing. Don't repeat the same words over and over and over. It gets tiresome to listen to.
Very much so. Technical quality.
Another important aspect. It needs to actually sound okay for your listener to want to listen to your podcast.
Yeah. So avoid, crappy microphones. Good tip is that cell phones often have really good quality microphones, so you can definitely use your cell phones. But just make sure that the quality is crisp and clear.
The laptop you got most likely have a really bad microphone.
Yeah, you'll want to avoid that. The next thing is like the technical stuff, like having a jingle.
Yeah.
What is that?
A jingle is like an intro melody. It doesn't need to be long. It can be just a few seconds, or it can be like 20, 10, something around that range. Just some sort of intro tune to make the listener know that your podcast is going to start now.
You can also do like fancy stuff like having sounds in the background. Like if you're talking about riots, for instance, maybe you want to add a clip of a riot happening in the background, as long as it doesn't interfere with the audio. And then just the general quality of the editing. So you want to remove parts where you're stumbling across words, forgetting stuff, having long pauses in your speech. You can just edit that out. Just clip it out.
And when you edit, make sure that you don't edit in the middle of a sentence, because it sounds so weird if you jump from one sentence to another. It confuses the listener.
Last thing, third, is persuasiveness. This is a podcast. You're talking about a subject and you're trying to persuade your listeners that you are right about something.
And one way to do that is to actually have a good structure, both in your arguments, but also in the podcast itself. You want to have an introduction, and you want to have a summary or a conclusion, and some sort of middle part. You don't want to jump from one thing to another and then to the next, and then laugh some more in the middle. You don't want to do that.
Definitely. You also have to know you got to know your stuff. So do research on the topic. Know what you're going to talk about beforehand. Don't just figure it out along the way. That will not work.
And reading from a script that you have not written. If you just copy-pasted something from Wikipedia or another site and you don't really know the words you're saying, it's very obvious. So don't do that.
So, summing up.
Language.
Yep. Technical quality and persuasiveness.
The last thing might be the most important one.
I would say that.
Yeah.
Okay. Good luck.
Good luck.